Hi everyone, Amanda here. In today's recap video, we're going to be looking at matter. So firstly, what is matter? Well, matter is anything and everything that has a mass and takes up space. So pretty much everything around us. Matter can come in three forms or phases. We can find matter in a gaseous phase or as a gas. We can also find matter as a solid or as a liquid. And to give you an example of each one, matter as a gas, very common example is air. The air all around us, although we physically can't see the air, we know it's there and it's a gas. It definitely contains mass and it takes up space. Example of a solid could be a stone. If you pick a stone up off the ground, the stone is made up of many different components, but it's definitely a solid. It has mass and it takes up space. An example of a liquid could be if you pour yourself a glass of orange juice. So orange juice is a liquid, it has mass and it takes up space. Now matter can be divided into two categories. And these two categories are pure substances or mixtures. Pure substances can further be divided into two categories according to what they are made up of. And as you can see on the screen, pure substances can either be made up of elements or compounds. Elements are made up of particles, which are called atoms. And if a substance is an element, the atoms are all exactly the same. So the atoms are all come from the same element. And how you know if it's an element or not is you can have a look at the periodic table. So on our periodic table, all of our elements are listed over there. And for example, iron is on the periodic table. So if you have one pure piece of iron, you would have many Fe atoms in that substance, and we would call that an element. Now this is different to compounds. Compounds are made up of two or more atoms that come from different elements. And very important over here, a compound is only called a compound when those atoms have been chemically bonded. So an example over there would be water. We all know the chemical formula for water is H2O, so we've got two hydrogen atoms bonding to one oxygen atom. There's definitely a chemical bond that takes place. That is important. There must be a chemical bond. Once that happens, we can call it a compound. Now let's look at mixtures. There are two main types of mixtures that we get. We get, on the left-hand side, homogeneous mixtures, and then we get heterogeneous mixtures. If you ever get confused between these two words, always look at the prefix. So the word on the left, homo, meaning the same. The word on the right, hetero, meaning different. So in a homogeneous mixture, the components making up the mixture are all in the same phase. Whereas in a heterogeneous mixture, the components that make up that mixture are all in a different phase or different phases. Remember, we discussed phases at the beginning of this recap video. We get three phases. And our three phases are either solid, liquid, or gas. So, in other words, homogeneous mixtures would all be either solid or either liquid or gas. They would never be mixed together. So, homogeneous mixtures, this is where we find solutions. Solutions are homogeneous mixtures that are in the liquid phase. And an example of a heterogeneous mixture would be a suspension. An example of a suspension would be if you take some mud and you mix it in water. So suspensions would be when you have one substance that is suspended in a liquid medium. So for example, mud in water. Now, let's look at solutions in a bit more detail. Remember, we said a solution is a homogeneous mixture. It's a mixture and therefore not a pure substance. Let's look at the parts that make up a solution. A solution is made up of a solvent and a solute. The solvent is the liquid part of the solution. So that is what we put our solid into, and we mix it to create the solution. The solute is the solid that we put into the liquid to create the solution. So what we do is we take the solid, we mix the solid into the liquid, mix everything together. If it dissolves, we get a solution. For example, if we think about making up a salt water solution, you will take your ordinary table salt, and we know table salt's formula is NaCl, sodium chloride, and you could take yourself a beaker of water, so we'll have some water in that beaker, H2O. If you take some salt and you mix it in a beaker of water, the salt would be the solute, the water would be the solvent, and then once you've mixed the two together and that salt has dissolved in that solvent, we then have a solution. So in this video, we briefly looked at matter, what matter is made up of, and I explained the few important parts in detail to you. In my next video, I'm going to be explaining what an emulsion is. And I'm also going to be explaining to you the difference between miscible and immiscible liquids with examples. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Amanda Owen Online Education, and there I will be posting regular videos. And our videos, we have 3 different types of videos. We have videos offered in maths, we have videos offered in science, and we have videos offered in EFL, which is English as a Foreign Language. And as usual, our videos are free to anyone, anywhere in the world. So subscribe to my YouTube channel if you would like to get updates and regular recap videos on any one of these 3 topics, or subjects I should say. And if you'd like to find out more about attending private lessons, all our lessons are online. And we do offer private lessons for students all around the world in any one of the above 3 subjects, math, science, or in English as a Foreign Language. And of course, the science is chemistry or physics. So if you'd like to find out more about how you can do that and you can book me for a private lesson, please visit www.amandaowenonline.co.za.